You know, I've actually just realized as I was doing what I'm doing that for the past couple of reviews I've been starting by singing or playing music. I think that might just be a new feature that I introduced onto the channel. And speaking about new features, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but if you didn't, you might be the problem. But there's a new podcast that I've started with Change Cars and All Things Motoring. I posted on the Keep It or Change Cars podcast YouTube channel, and I also posted on All Things Motoring YouTube channel, and I posted here as well. So if you don't see it there, you're gonna see it here. If you don't see it here, you're gonna see it there. So don't be surprised. Now, my first guest was Mr. How Much, and yeah, please subscribe to that. Please also subscribe to my traveling channel. I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on that channel. But yeah, other than that, you guys know how we do it this side. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the car that I'm in. But before that, I'm Nicky Nash, as always, from Central South Africa, in proud collaboration with Change Cars. And today we're gonna speak about a car that has no business being R1,000,000, and it's the Honda CRV. Yeah, just starting this review already has me sighing at the price of the vehicle. But as always, we're gonna do it this time, and I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't buy this vehicle for that amount of money. So starting off with the vehicle, you know how we do it this side. Extra look at the vehicle. That's one thing that I need to give Honda for. The extra look of the vehicle looks amazing. This is the first Honda CRV across all the generations that they've released that I like the look of. The previous generation and generations before that, I did not like the look of the vehicle. I was not a fan of it. But this one, I know, they did the most. I really do like the look of this car, more especially in front. It's so aggressive. You know, if you showed me the look of the vehicle from the exterior and you said it's R1,000,000, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Okay, cool. But we'll speak about the price. Extra look of the vehicle looks very good. I like the look of the vehicle. The side profile of the vehicles. This one, because it's the exclusive, right? This one is sitting on 19-inch alloy wheels, which they look very good from the extra look of the vehicle. It has some sportiness to it as well, being the exclusive, being the one that costs R1,000,000, by the way. So then the rear looks okay. The tail lights look like a specific vehicle that I posted, that I reviewed before this one. So go check the video before this one, look at that car's taillights, and come look here, and you guys will tell me if I'm seeing things or not. But yeah, that's with regards to actually look at the vehicle. When you get into the interior of the vehicle, that's where now the pricing of the vehicle and the interior look of the vehicle, for me personally, that's where it doesn't match. The interior of the vehicle doesn't say this is R1,000,000 car, and for that also we need to touch on about. So when you jump into the interior of the vehicle, so if you've been in other Hondas, right, new gen Hondas, you will see that, okay, this looks like a Honda. What's the small one that I had? The Honda Elevate. You can see that looks like the Honda Elevate. There's the Honda, the sedan, the Civic. You can tell that it looks like the Civic. So, and there's the smaller one. I think it's called, the HRV. Oh, my mistake. Don't fall it. So there's the HRV. So when you get into this vehicle, you can see that this car looks like it's siblings, which is, there's nothing wrong about that, right? But the price tag. I'm gonna speak more about the price tag because, oh my days, it's the biggest thing in this vehicle. So Honda took that interior, put it in here, and obviously tried to make it a bit more plush in certain areas. Like when you look on the door, the dash, and all over the vehicle, there's these wood inserts, right? I don't think it's actual wood. I feel like it's wood inserts. I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. You should be seeing it on the overplay videos. So there's this wood inserts, which, you know, when you see wood in a vehicle, you think luxury, and I think that's what Honda was trying to do. I'm not angry at it, nor am I a fan of it. It's okay that the vehicle is there. It's not something that I would option out or option in if I had a choice to do something like that. So the interior of the vehicle, very minimal. Honda didn't do too much. So you get a steering wheel with flappy pedals, you get a digital instrument cluster, a touchscreen infotainment system which supports wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So that's just the basics. The seats feel good. The seats are heated. They're not ventilated though, they're just heated. Also, I'm paying R1,000,000, come on. So the seats feel good. So I think being in the vehicle is a very nice place to be. My only downfall one of my downfalls in terms of the interior is the fact that this roof lining. Why is the roof lining this color? The roof lining should be black. it should be black. I always say roof lining should be black. Even my own personal car, the roof lining is black, and my personal car is, I don't know how many times that car goes into this car, you know. So you will see it on the channel as well. So my personal car. So I'm not happy about that. That should be black. Moving on to the rear seats, the back seats, those are perfect, fine. There's a lot of space. I have no problem with the back seats. Maybe they're just a bit too high, but other than that, the back seat, the space is amazing. And with regards to the interior, that's where the good things for me end, because this car is a 7-seater, so it has 2 extra seats at the back. And when I say the good things end, is because for the size of this vehicle, for me personally, I don't think Honda should have went the route of making this car a 7-seater, because the 2 seats at the back, the 6th and 7th seat, one, there's no space. I don't fit there. It's for like kids, right? If I wanna fit in the 6th and 7th seat, I need to move the back seats forward, right? And if I move the back seats forward and I sit at the back, someone who's my height won't be able to sit in the back seats, because the back seat will be so close to the driver and passenger seat. So you understand, that's where it's why did Honda want to make it a 7-seater? There's no need for this vehicle to be a 7-seater. That's one. The second thing that this vehicle has no business being a 7-seater is because the way the seats are when they are folded flat down. Because now the boot is not flat. The boot has a hump. You should be seeing it on the overplay videos. You'll see my kit bag, my under 13's kit bag is there. The ball bag is there. I think there's like a few more other things on the side. You will see there's a hump. Right, that's the second thing. And the boot is not actually that big because of those 2 seats. There's a second thing about it being a 7-seater. The third thing about it being a 7-seater, it does not have a parcel shelf cover. So that thing that you pull to cover to hide things in the boot, it does not have that. That's 3 things that I've mentioned, or the disadvantage of this car being a 7-seater. 3 things. So personally, I feel like Honda should have just kept this thing as a 5-seater, because the cars that they compete with, some I get, some are 7-seaters, but not everyone wants a 7-seater, or not everyone needs a 7-seater. And I feel like if someone that's buying this vehicle doesn't need a 7-seater, because already in our minds we have certain cars that we know are 7-seaters. If I were to be like, guys, name one 7-seater, the first thing that's gonna pop in your mind is a Toyota Fortuner or Ford Everest. You are not gonna think of a Honda CRV or a Tiguan All Space or a Cherry Tiggo 8, I think. You're not going to think about those cars. See, I'm even kind of doubting that the Tiggo 8 is a 7-seater, although I think it is a 7-seater. But I know off the bat a Toyota Fortuner is a 7-seater. I know Ford Everest is a 7-seater. So this vehicle, for me personally, has no business being a 7-seater. And that's just another thing that I don't like about this vehicle. That's with regards to the interior of the vehicle. Now we move on to the drive of the vehicle. And again, this is where the bad things, or the things that I don't like about this vehicle as well. So this car, when you look at the engine, is powered by a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder, which produces 140 kilowatts and 240 newton meters of torque through a CVT gearbox. There is no way I'm gonna pay R1 million for a car that is a 1.5 liter engine, turbocharged, right? And the CVT on top of that. It's personally, that's just my personal opinion. There may be Honda fans or people that say, Nikki, that's fine, I don't mind it, and that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But I personally would not pay R1 million for that. Or personally, it's a lot of money. And I think that's another flaw of this car in terms of the engine, the gearbox. I think that's a flaw in my personal opinion. But when you look out to the drive of the vehicle, like how I'm driving it now, this car's perfect. It gets the job done. This car, driving it the way I am right now, it's perfect, gets the job done. You will enjoy the drive of the vehicle. It handles the road imperfections quite well. That's just with me, right? The disadvantage, I'm not showing you why I wouldn't pay so much money for the engine and the gearbox in this vehicle. So I'm gonna put my foot down, and I'll tell you that the foot is down, and I'll tell you when the car decides to kick in. So foot down, now the car goes, and it's screaming. I don't like that. Personally, I do not like that. Honda, you're making it very hard for me to like this vehicle, and I think because of the pricing of the vehicle, this car would have been perfect if the price was lower. And since I'm speaking so much about the price, let me tell you the model ranges that you get in this Honda CRV, and we're going to speak about the price. So the model ranges, you get two. There's only two models. There's an Executive, and then there's an Exclusive. The price difference between Executive and Exclusive is, what, that's 70,000 rand. And the difference is, on this one you get a bit more sportier design, and you get 19-inch alloy wheels instead of 18-inch alloy wheels. You get a glass sliding panoramic sunroof, whereas the other one doesn't have panoramic sunroof, and a few other things, just 2 or 3 other things. I'll detail those things down below, right? So that's 2 model ranges, and already, even if you don't buy the one I'm in, you're paying 960,000 rand. 960,000 rand is essentially R1 million. If this vehicle, personally, if this car was 700,000 rand, 750, 800, if we're pushing it, right, between 700 and 800, if this vehicle was that amount of money, then it would have a case, because now you're competing with other vehicles in that price range. At R1 million, you're pricing yourself out of the cars that people think you compete with, and now you're pricing yourself against other cars. And I'm going to make an example. When you say Honda CRV, what cars are you guys thinking about off the top of your head? You're gonna name the Chinese. You're gonna be like, no, there's a Haval H6, there's the new J-Coup, there's the Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro Max, there's the Hyundai Tucson. There's no Chinese though, but the other, I'm mentioning other vehicles. There's Hyundai Tucson, there's Kia Sportage, there's Mazda CX-5, there's Volkswagen Tiguan. All those vehicles that I mentioned are under R1 million. Only Tiguan R is above R1 million, and that's something else. All the vehicles I mentioned are under R1 million. So Honda's saying, basically, we don't compete with you guys. We are pricing ourselves above you guys. What does that do? You're pricing a Honda at R1 million. R1 million is a lot of money to South Africans. So what cars are you guys thinking about? You guys are thinking about, oh, R1 million. I will get a Volvo XC60, which you can, because a Volvo XC60 starts at 988,000 rand, which is essentially the price of this car. And I think a better vehicle. One, you can get into a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, Mercedes-Benz GLC is heavily priced as well, but you can get into a demo model of that. You can get into a BMW X3. So you can see that Honda is saying, we don't compete with you guys that are a bit below us. We're going to compete with the other guys, the Germans, the big boys, right, and the Swedish. So it's I think that's where how they market segmented this vehicle is a complete. They got it completely wrong, in my personal opinion. And I know I'm speaking so much about the price of the vehicle, and I'm gonna end it there. One more thing I'm gonna speak about the price of the vehicle is monthly repayments of how much those cars cost. So if you take this vehicle and finance it over a period of 5 years, which is 60 months, at an interest rate of 12.25% with no deposit, you are looking at paying 23,200 rand for this vehicle before insurance, with no deposit, with no balloon payment, without even paying a full tank, right? It's a lot of money. And I've said a mouthful of this vehicle, and I think it's best I end it there. You guys can comment what you think. Would you buy this vehicle for that amount of money? Would you spend, would you buy this vehicle for that amount of money? If not, what are you buying? Whether you're buying something less, something cheaper, and keep the change, or you buy something that's in and around that R1 million. But yeah, I think I've said a mouthful, and I'm gonna end the review there. If there's anything you'd like to know that I didn't cover in this review, please don't be shy. I don't bite. Comment down below. I will respond. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Nicky Nash. I'm proud collaboration with Change Cars and all things motoring. I'll see you in the next one.